Hello. On my recent trip to the North Uist and the Outer Hebrides, I caught up with friends of mine on the island, Brian and Lynn Lowe. Brian is the RSPB's Corncrake warden for the Outer Hebrides, and he's the only professional Corncrake warden in the world. He's affectionately known as Captain Corncrake. I joined Brian for one of his walks on the RSPB's Balranald Nature Reserve to find out more about this shy, rare and elusive little bird.
Well, thank you all for coming, and I'm Brian Lowe, and I'm the official title is the RSPB Species Officer, and I deal with the three main species, well, three of the main species. I do corncrakes, corn buntings, and then I go on to golden eagles. There's not much difference between any of them, they all sound the same. Right, what I'm going to try and do is tell you the life story of the corncrakes, what they do when they get to the Uist, where they come from and where they go back. So first of all, we're going to find out where they migrate to in the winter. End of the breeding season, the males are always the first to go. They've had enough and they decide to go, that's it. Can't do any more. Then I'll tell you the rest in a minute. Now, our first corncrakes, male corncrakes, arrive usually the last week in April, start coming in, and to the second week in May. That's our main time for the incoming birds. The males come in first, but very often we find sometime the odd one or two female come. Now, the males arrive and they come right from the bottom of Southeast Africa. And when they're in South Africa, that is where they hang about in the Congo forest, in these water holes. If you walk around there in the middle of the migration, middle of our winter, you could probably see 20 or 30 corncrakes walking around there. So if you can pass those round for me, please. So they come all the way from the forest down there.
Quite a long way down.
And they come all the way down. Now if ever you see a corncrake flying, you think, well, how on earth does he fly that far? Well, they do actually fly at 45 to 50 miles an hour, and they do actually fly at 20,000 feet. So when they get over the water, they're away. Well, that's their migration pattern. Now, corncrakes' lives on migration and when they're here is fraught with danger. And then there's our old friend the cat. When they get here, all the dangers that they get. Cats. Now we're having a lot of them caught by cats. They're so easy to catch by cats. I mean, if a male is calling over there at night from midnight, I can walk up to that male and pick it up by the neck. They just don't take any notice at all. He wants a woman and he's going mad. They are, yes, it's in target, yeah. And another animal that kills quite a few corncrakes, the otter. Now this is not a Photoshop picture, this was taken on South Uist. So, they're naughty, aren't they? Well, right, the males arrive, they find an area like this, they start calling for a female. If you hear me referring to corners, a lot of these areas are little corners in a crop field. One here. Yeah, couple of year hundreds by the time we finish, I hope. And those are little areas we rent off the crofters, and then we plant all what you see in it, you know, the ground elder and everything, nettles, they love nettles. Anything that they can walk through. It's no good having tufty grass. They need somewhere where they can walk through the nettles like this, you know, they love this, we can walk through that. Look at this in. If you see the way it's got tufty in places, it's just no good for them whatsoever. So now the males have arrived and I start calling for a female. Now a female comes into his territory, or like I say, I keep forgetting myself and saying corner territory, and what they do, call for a female arrives, they mate, and she can lay up to 15 eggs of the first brood. Now that's a day old Corncrake chick, same size as a day old chick.
Oh, sorry.
It's not the BBC, this. It about sums up my week.
So now, I'll go back to the story again now. Got his female, the eggs have hatched, and when they're about 14 days old, they will leave the mother, and they'll work their way up into the near fields, because as they get old, the next brood goes further and further. So the youngsters go there, and they develop into adults, and they fly on their own back to Southeast Africa, right back to Southeast Africa. And in the meantime, his female will leave him, and he'll start calling again, and he calls another female in who's already been with a male. He's somebody else's partner.
So you swap?
They swap, do a wife swap, that's it. They do a wife swap, and they do the same. And obviously they don't lay so many eggs the second brood. Sometimes it's only 8, sometimes it's 9. But what I did is a bit I didn't miss out. When the male finds his area, he builds up to 5, makes 5 nests, and the female comes in, takes one, and the next female takes another one. She doesn't use the same one. And next time, next brood is usually 8 to 9, so that's the second brood. They do the same. They'll go up into, but they can go a bit further now because the habitat is getting better as they go away, and they develop, and off they go in the second wave. Now if it's a good summer, this can happen 3 times, so you can call another female in and do it all again. But they don't lay so many eggs as last time. Now at the end of the season, which can be September, August, end of August, September, the males will stop calling and they will go up into the June slats, and they molt exactly like wildfowl. I don't know if most of you know anything about wildfowl. And the females very often join up the last brood of youngsters, so you can go a walk around the back of this side of the dunes, and you can disturb a female with quite a few, maybe 2 or 3 females with her, and then off they go. They all get to when they've all got, the females lose all the flight, and then they all go off back to Southeast Africa. That's basically their story. Now there was a lot of problems when they first came over, because the crofters, if you've got a croft field, which is the easiest way to cut it, round and round and work to the middle. Now if you do that with partridges, they'll run for their life. Corncrakes don't. They sit down to the last swath of grass, and they've got the lot. So we had to develop some methods of mowing for them, which the crofters now get grants for doing this sort of mowing. One of the methods is put a line down the middle and then work that bit so the birds go to work out. Well, you can see anyway. Cut your main line down and then come back on that side, then come up and come up. So you're working, the birds are going that way. Partridges will fly off out the way. Corncrakes just sit there. That's silly. They're like me. Now it's my job to survey these birds. You can't survey the females. Females don't make a sound, but they do make a sound. They make a ticking sound like a time bomb. So if you hear one going tick, it's a female with contact call to the babies, the youngsters. But the males, as you know, they're mad. Just drive anybody mad. And they say, well, I have to go out at midnight. I work till 3 or 4 in the morning. And they say, why do I go out at midnight? Well, that's a simple question. Answer, I mean. That stone is the centre of the bird's territory. Now, in the daytime, that bird could be calling half a mile away. He could be calling there. He could even be calling there. But with all our electronic tagging and all our radio tagging and all our scientific work, from midnight till 4 in the morning, they go back to within 5 metres of their territory. So if that's the centre of his territory, he's calling from within 5 metres. So we can only call territories. Females don't make a sound except for the ticking. Some birds, especially in Barra, where some of the roads are short, you can have a bird calling here, and the sound of him will be bouncing off a house a quarter of a mile away. So you think, oh, 2 birds, I can hear this one. No, can't be. So Lynn used to come to me in Barra, and usually she'll go down to the other end of the road and clap her hands, and that bird will shut up if there is one, you know. little tricks of the trade that we get together.
How many youngsters survive?
I think quite a high number do. But it's the journey there and journey back is the problem.
Have you radio tagged some to establish that that's where they go?
Oh yes, we've had radio, we've had satellite tagged on and everything. And that's where they go. So I think what we'll do is have a walk up there.
What are the rules on access?
Back along the back and down back to the centre. Oh yeah. He starts calling again.
He's just did it.
Yeah, if you do this with your ears and look up there. Pushing on him. And start. It's a bit windy to continue calling tonight, they're not. You go to Yolagari, Barra, you've got an area, the whole of this area there, and very often they stand on. Don't get anything out, and that's the trouble.
What distance do you reckon that is?
I would say in that first joy, this is
Yeah, right.
just there. Don't be dead in the open. They do sometimes, huh? Call it. It's the new law that she's brought ahead. It's a bit silly.
So it's politicians now.
Yes,
Aren't
that's it.
politicians.
Yes.
Right.
Thanks, Brian. You always make me welcome, and it's always appreciated. And boy, are you laid back. I wish I could be like that. Anyway, the next morning, I went back to Balranald, and I found a corncrake that appeared to be a little bit jet-lagged. I think we'll call him Colin. Take a look at this.